I'm Zach Lipner.
I'm
from
Martina Lyons.
Yeah, from Neisner, born and bred. I came from fairly humble backgrounds, not very wealthy at all. Finished school and I wanted to go travel badly.
Okay.
So there was no money for flights or whatever. So my dad suggested, as because we all grew up sailing,
Okay.
like go to the Royal Cape Yacht Club in Cape Town. Put your name on the board there. So you're looking like to go help skip a boat and do a crossing, and once you get across, then you take it from there.
Okay.
So that's what I did. I got on a boat 2 months later, and off I went. Sailed out of Neisner Heads, and then sailed all the way up into Gibraltar, Skiathos, Greece, and then hitchhiked the whole of Europe.
Okay.
And then I basically travelled for like a year or almost 2 years, and then came back and then started my little business with the scrap with my father. I didn't actually start it. He was running a little business.
Okay.
He was over it, and then I was like helping him, so it was kind of like a family business.
Okay.
Recycling and stuff, and back then it was unheard of. Recycling was still like no one really cared about scrap metal, so it was fairly viable, good little
Okay,
business, like, but very small scale. And then there was a family farm, and we kind of went there and we picked some of that river reed, that sponsored it.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't our family farm, but my mom's from her family, and so we picked some of the reed there and brought it back because we weren't sure. And I was just standing it outside the scrapyard there, and then loads of people were coming up going, "Yo, where did you get this? Can we buy some? Can we buy some?" So I started selling it and driving there and driving back, and it was like, after selling it, paying my petrol and often getting a fine because you either overloaded or they don't understand what the stuff is sticking out the back of the bucky, So profit margins were zero. So I was like, no, there's got to be another way. And then obviously wattle came up and blue gum trees because it's aliens and it's straight and there's so much of it. So I started cutting that instead and just standing it next to the river reed. And then the concentration went from the river reed to the sticks instead. So then I phased that out, and then that's where it really started. My main people that were working for me were a lot of older colored and black people that were living on farms unemployed.
Okay.
And the farmers were phoning me at a stage during that whole, we went through that like kind of recession.
Yeah.
They were all phoning me going, "Look, they've got a farm, please can't you come cut? We've got like 10 houses of staff workers we can't afford to pay. Can you maybe come and just teach them how to do it?" And so I'd go literally spend a night there or 2 nights in a tent and just work hard the whole day, teaching them, showing them how to cut bark, bundles, stand them up so they air dry. And then once they know and understood that, and then the second, third phase would be teaching them to phone me when they have like 500 sticks at a time, neatly bundled in 10 per bundle. So I've had anything from 10 people to 20 people at a time, all depending on the areas where we're cutting. Because in certain areas the latter are quite dense and there's a lot, so the guys are cutting and I'm paying them per stick. So it's like, for them, they're making good money.
I have been working for UNICEF and World Food Program on various contracts as a consultant for the past 4 years, focusing on infant and young child feeding practices and nutrition, with a specific focus really on micronutrient deficiency, so hidden hunger, malnutrition that's not really visible to the eye, but is a huge problem, not only in Africa but all over the world. So I've basically been coming in and out of the garden route for the past 3.5 years, working on contracts, home for a few weeks, doing that. So
Yeah, it was 5 years of being in a relationship, like coming and going and coming and going. This was the final contract. She was coming home, and then she was gonna we were gonna spend time at home together. So for me, it was like, okay, cool. Well, that's it. I need latte. I'm not going to be able to get for the next week. So told the guys everything was fine. I sorted them out a little bit something extra because I just finished a big job. So gave them each a little bonusy, just so they knew, hey, listen, this is what's happening. There's big wins, and we don't want any problems because it's our bread and butter in the forest, and we can't jeopardize that by trying to sneak in and go cut latte while we've been told not to.
Sure.
So 2 of the buckies had to come back. The trailers came back. I parked everything at my house Tuesday night and sorted the guys out, and then they all left. I dropped them all at home, said cheers. I came back home
Wednesday morning.
Wednesday morning, woke up, to a phone call from my mom, just saying, please, you need to come here immediately, bring the guys or whoever you've got. The fires on the neighbouring farms, they all need help. So drop everything you've done. I thought, perfect, because I don't have this to worry about my other cutters or checking if buckies are stuck or anything. No one's going to phone me, because once I'm on the farm, the signal's not the best, you know. Okay. So I set my guy up at the little scrap shop, left one guy with him and took the other guys with me, and off we went, shot. And that was literally the last time I saw or heard about my house, because I'd also, knowing that Martina was coming home the end of the month, I had 2 carpenters at my house. So they were busy finishing a deck that I was doing there and so on and so forth. And yeah, and the buckies, obviously everything was there. So I just left the house in a rush. Well. Everything was there, because the guys had arrived from the forest. I'd finished the big job that I just told you about that I'd finished. So all my compressors, everything was in my garages. Not that I normally put it there. It just happened that way because we had finished late. The guys had come to my house and I met everyone at my house. So we just left everything there and off we went. I dropped them back home. I came back that Tuesday night. Wednesday off to the farm with the guys. And yeah. On Wednesday afternoon, I only found out on about 9:30 when we all kind of, everyone got together at Shell Garage in Setfield, and then obviously signals started coming back because all the towers were burnt in the forest, well, wherever they are up there. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's when I found out about the loss. And I didn't believe it really, because no one could confirm with me that I'd lost my house. Everyone just said, look, they'd lost their house, which was further up the road from me, and I didn't realize the magnitude of how it just ripped through that valley. Like, it kind of started there and just went straight through.
I mean, he left the house thinking he was coming back to his house that night, and had no idea that the fires were even close to there, or that it would get to there that day. So it was a complete shock. Yeah. But you'd heard that some houses were taken, others weren't. There was no rhyme or reason to how these houses burnt. So you just kind of were hoping for a miracle that your little spot was still standing. Because, I mean, you've had timber homes next to concrete homes. The timber ones are still standing, concrete are in ruins. So, you really just kind of hoped and prayed and,
Yeah, I don't think there is really, like, you can't really explain it just like explaining it, because a week and a bit later, you still, it's surreal. It's not like, it's like, we can see it, we can see everything's damaged, we can see it's all gone.
It had such character, and it was like Zach's labor of love for the last 10 years. And like since I've moved there even, it was always changing, always evolving, and just getting that much better. Yeah. And, putting like your own little touches here and there, and it's not a home like you're going to see anywhere else. It was, it was
very unique.
Yeah. It's crazy because there's nothing left. Like I can understand if there's like, okay, you've still got like this left, or at least you've got a piece of your thing left, but there's really, it's like what was a house and what was a jungle around us, like literally like a kiff jungle. Buried. You couldn't even see my house from the road. You didn't even know there was a house. You'd have to either be flying from above to see, or you'd know that, hey, Zach lives in there. You've got to go around and in there. But when you ride past there and it's just looks like open barren piece of land that's just like the few twigs and stuff, and just a bunch of corrugated iron. It's net dakblater, that. So
I think right now the main thing is finding some medium to long term, or however long it's gonna take, a place to live. Right now we're being put up by friends, and that's great and all, but it's not sustainable. And Neisner already had such a housing shortage or shortage of rental properties. So now this is just going to be compounded by the fact that how many people have lost homes too. And especially right now, you also have certain neighborhoods or suburbs that are without electricity and infrastructure. So you have all those people that are staying with friends. So it's just, it's not just those that have lost homes. It's also people, for the meantime, until service is restored, that are also displaced. So
literally the day I got those tools, within an hour and a half later, they were put to use. Like literally, like I had a carpenter on site. I had 2 guys waiting. Well, that there was at least 3 guys, like,
Wow.
3 people immediate, like within they were there. Like I had them regardless. I had to just give them something to do just to keep them busy in the meantime. But when we got the tools, that was when I felt like, okay, cool. Now I actually can start earning money again. Like now I can start, So that was awesome. The majority of us are all hands-on people here. We're not like kind of just, we all come from like a humble background. The most of the people that are in desperate need of whatever is coming our way. So we're not those that are just going to sit back and wait for things to happen. We're going to, if something comes, we'll take it. We're not going to say no, and we'll be appreciative for it. But at the same time, we'll make it work, And if nothing comes, then we'll wait for people like us that get things, and we'll pass it on to other O's and hopefully give it to them too. And just keep it rolling, because there's a circle of money in life. And if I get something, you keep it going to someone else, and from him, he'll pass it to someone else. So, and that's the great thing about Nigel, all these chat groups and stuff. They're already like, there's big hoo-ha about like outside companies coming and underquoting smaller guys like me, or for example builders that are hoping to get work. Because we want to keep the business in our town, and we want to generate, because if we get outside people, you're cutting that circle and you're creating you're creating a problem. We want to keep it the circle that if I get my latte, I can pass my business. If I get tools, I can give it to another carpenter to use my tools if he needs it, whether it's for a day or 2 or whatever the case is. So we want to keep that circle. Yeah. I can vouch that this money's gone to good cause, whoever's out there sending the money. Definitely. And I can tell you now, this is real.